Today I sitting here piddling on my computer. I'm constantly working on my computer, getting files straight. As you know, I do a lot of video restoring and photograph restoring, and it takes a lot of time. And I fill up hard drives. I bet you I've got at least 24 external hard drives that are filled up. And so, when one gets filled up, I have to go buy another one. Actively, though, I got 4 different hard drives, external hard drives, connected to my computer because, hey, look, I've got thousands upon thousands of photographs and thousands of videos. So, got to have a place to store them for posterity. Not that anybody's going to watch them when we're gone, but, in case they do have an interest later on and to pop out the old home movies of their daddy and mama or granddaddy and grandma. It'll be there for them. All of you know that I'm a record collector, and I've pointed out before in this room that I keep my most valuable records here next to my heart. And so, and as you know, I do pull them out occasionally and pop them on the turntable, which I've shown you before. And and I'll be outside. I'll show you a couple of things outside where I store other records. Somebody said, "Well, Tony, how many records you got?" And I said, "I don't have as many as I used to. I've probably got maybe 2,000 that are close to my heart, that what I consider my collection. But then I got another, 25,000, 30,000 records that are stored in 2 different buildings on my property that I used for when I was doing record shows or doing mail order. I was really active into that up until about 2012. And, who knows, I may go back and start doing some more record shows, because in the record business and the record collecting business, music goes and comes in cycles. What is a popular collectible record 10 years ago may not be collectible now, but in another 10 years that genre will be collectible and people will be wanting that original vinyl. So having a hobby of collecting records from when I was went into the business, in like 1978, and I saw where records were, price guides of records, and I bought a price guide and I looked up some of the records I have, and I said, "Whoa, they're worth a whole bunch of money." I said, "Well, let me just go buy some more of what I got and start selling them." I figured that if I liked it, and I had it and I liked it, that everybody else would like it. And hey, honey, my wife just popped her head into the door. Excuse me just a second. I'm making a video for YouTube. Hey. Okay, I got that. I got those things done. But that was my wife. I don't know if you saw her, but she sure ain't gonna show herself. See, that's just the way she is. But yeah, the records. Where was I? I lost my train of thought. Anyway, I've bought and sold records since '78, when I went into the part-time selling end of it. I mentioned that if I had it, I liked it, and I played it, everybody should like it. Because that's the way I thought it worked, but it wasn't. First several years, I won't say several, but first 4 to 6 years, I lost money being a record dealer, if you will, and because I didn't know the market, didn't know exactly what collecting really was. So I had to learn the hard way, lose money to begin with, and then when I figured out what people were wanting to buy, and so I applied that knowledge that I got. So by 1984, I was turning a profit in buying and selling collectible records, rare vinyl, etc. And I've done pretty good with it. I'm going to tell you that. I have done well with it. But I paid my dues, and I've enjoyed it over the years. And I still, sometimes when I go to an antique store or if I have decided I want to go to a flea market, I'll thumb through records because you never know what you're going to find. A little secret to buying and selling records is when I look for records, I do not look for anything that I've heard of. Well, I won't say I've heard of, but what the general public has listened to, grew up with. Because, hey, records like that are common. You know, I mean, they're like roaches. They're everywhere. So I look for obscure titles, obscure labels, and that way, you know, it's promising that I might be able to resell it, because there are collectors for that, for music that you and general public, including me, have never heard or seen. And I still find records I've never seen before or even heard. And but those hardcore collectors out there who collect a certain genre like rockabilly or R&B or something on a minor label of a group or individuals, that's what they look for. So I learned what and how to buy records like that. And normally you go to a yard sale or go to a flea market and they got that Led Zeppelin album for $4. Not even $4. They might be asking $8 or $10 for it. Well, hey, not Led Zeppelin's not a good example, but well, in a sense it is, or Rolling Stones or whatever. I mean, those were mass produced, and everybody who actually was a collector of Rolling Stones or Led Zeppelin or the Beatles or whatever have all the records, early presses, everything. You know, they have spent the money to buy first presses of the Beatles, and so, you know, those were expensive to buy if you got into the game late. But generally speaking, if you see a Beatles record at a yard sale or at a flea market or whatever, generally it's going to be a reissue. It's not going to be an original press. And you know, they're dime a dozen. Millions upon millions were pressed. So that tells you. So in contrast to that, those rare or obscure groups, rock and roll groups, not rock groups, but rock and roll groups, teen pop groups, R&B, rockabilly, those groups who press not albums but generally just 45s. Now press 1 or 2 45s and there might be 500 to 1,000 copies made. Well, when you got collectors out there looking for it, it's supply and demand, and they will sell. And generally, if you find them at a flea market or whatever, you know, don't cost much because nobody's heard of them. They say, "Who is this? I don't know." Here, that you can have that for a dime. Who knows? But in this business of record collecting and selling, that's what you look for. Obscure stuff. I've made some good money over the years picking up records like that. Walk by all the Beatles and Rolling Stones and the Who. You know, I walk right on by because there's nothing in there that a true collector of those groups doesn't have. They already have it, so I'm not going to spend my money on that type stuff. Generally, I usually carry a little portable record player around with me, and you know, I can pop a song on my record player. It's a little portable, and know right off the bat whether it's something that will sell just by listening to it for the first 15, 20 seconds. I'll know if it's a record that's got a chance of selling, and if it does, I'm going to pick it up and I'm going to hopefully turn a profit on it. But anyway, that's enough about the record collecting end of my life. I've done it for years. It's given me great pleasure. I have a lot of other hobbies that I've gone through and still have to this day, and I really could go on and on. Experiences I've had in the things that I've done. I've mentioned before in videos. I used to be in theater quite a bit. played athletics, played sports all my life, and was considered pretty darn good in the sports that I played, which were football, baseball, basketball, and track. And so I'm proud of those accomplishments. I still hold the record at my high school for the discus and shot put in track. Not that I don't think anybody's ever broken. Well, my record was set in 1967, and but I was all state in track for those two events, and so I was real proud of that. Basketball, baseball, football, not bad at it. I did go to a major league tryout camp. Pittsburgh Pirates had one in another city somewhat near where I live. So I went to that tryout camp. That's about as far as I got with it. I went to it, tried out, and they said, "Thank you very much for paying your money to try out. We'll see you later." See you down the road.